Alright, hey guys, this is an update video because I've been gone for like a couple of months. And while it wasn't mostly by my own will, I had a ton of fun and a bunch of scary experiences. And I'm gonna use this time lapse to talk about it. So, first off, if you know me personally, you know I have a disease called, well, not disease, mutation in my genes called pectus excavatum. It causes my chest to grow inwards, what's it called? It causes my sternum to grow inward towards my esophagus, my lungs, and my heart. And it turns out my heart is placed against this bone structure, which is dangerous. So I might possibly need a surgery. As we speak, I had well, as I'm recording this, I had a CAT scan a few days ago, and before that, I had what's it called? Cardiography or something. I don't know. Anyways, that was sort of scary, but I've had some fun. Like you can see, I've been working on a music making program, which is FL Studio. As a matter of fact, the song you're listening to right now is a song I've made in FL Studio. So yeah, this is something that I've been working on in my absence, and while I've been wanting to record episodes, I've just been distracted by stuff like regular YouTube, being a teenager, firefighting program, which I'm in against my own will, again. But since I'm in there, I might as well try my hardest. Speaking of which, we're going to this tournament where we're pitting different fire stations against different fire stations. So my Saturdays aren't going to be, they're not going to have a lot of time for me to work on anything. So yeah, that's going to be a problem if I want to, record more often, because my Saturdays are the days of which I have the most time. What else? Oh yeah. The videos that I have recorded and uploaded while I've been gone aren't the best because they're all Kirby episodes, and that's mostly because I cannot beat that gym leader without all of my Pokemon dying. I've tested it in multiple times. I've redone it. Every time I've died, I've deleted all of my progress and done it again. Trained for so long, but I still can't beat her. Now, eventually I'll come up with an episode of which I actually managed to get past her, and stuff actually happens in the episode. You'll see a clip of that, and I'll start the episode with me like, alright, we killed her, hooray, and then walk off with tears in my eyes. Anyways, that's the situation in Nuzlocke. I've been thinking of starting a new series, Mega Man X, matter of fact. I played through the beginning and some of Iceman's levels. I think that's his name. He's the penguin dude. Some of Iceman's levels, and I still haven't gotten the hang of the controls, because if you don't know, I'm playing on a laptop without, an actual SNES controller, so that's pretty, hard to do. I'm basically using Q, W, and E for my controls, and it's not very easy to do so. Another thing that I'd like to mention is, well, I'm in school again, and you might be like, hey, Scold, why did you decide to start recording again when you got back to school, when you had all those months in summer? I was at summer camp, 2 summer camps actually, one for leadership and another for church. I mean, I had a fun time, and I met this kid named Mike. Mike's awesome. Mike Springs, if you're listening, you're alright, dude. So, yeah, that was cool. Also, summer reading homework is terrible, especially if you procrastinate to the last minute like I did, and that's not, the best option to do. Oh yeah, also, I've been using Game Maker more and more and trying to figure out how to actually make a isometric RPG the way I want. And if you don't know, Game Maker is a simple to use program, this is one of its claims to fame. Undertale was actually made in it, so I'm like, oh sweet dude, I've always wanted to play Undertale, might as well use the same program that made it to do so. Also, I'm gonna flash a picture on screen right now of 2 characters that I've pixelated that I've been drawing for the past, I don't know, year or so. I have a thick, like, character scrolling ream or whatever for my game. I still don't have a name for it. I was thinking it would be like Skull's Adventures or the Story of JHCA, something like that. But yeah, my icon is the main character, The story's complicated, and I'll probably have time to talk to you about it today, but I want to get the important stuff out of the way first. Speaking of that, I use ASCII to pixelate those characters that I flashed on screen a little while ago, and I feel as if they're okay, but they're not like sprite worthy. I can't make those character faces sprites, and I have to figure out some sort of art style that allows me to do that. And you know, while it's hard to make complex sprites with actual like shading and moves and stuff like that if you're going on large scale, I think it's a challenge I can take up, and I'm going to do it no matter what you say. Words can't bring me down. I am you. I'm just gonna stop there. I mentioned that the songs that I've been playing through the background of this update video have actually been stuff that I've made, but that's not exactly true. Me and my brother made them together. As a matter of fact, I'm using one of his songs in this. You'll hear it eventually. I'm not sure you'll hear it now because, you know, songs aren't too long. Yeah. Whew. This is really hard to talk for 18 minutes. Just talking. I haven't done this for a while, but it's probably good practice for a YouTuber like me who doesn't do stuff quite often. I mean, I've never done voice practice. I started YouTube because I was like, hey, I can talk about a game and play the game at the same time and be good at the game. Turns out I was wrong. But, you know, I've been going on the Let's Players Reddit to find some information about what to do. Matter of fact, I started using this new editing software, Camtasia, because someone suggested it in Reddit, and I was like, oh, sweet. Matter of fact, I'm all over Reddit right now. I've been on the pixel art subreddit. I've been on Game Maker subreddit. I've been in actually Game Devs Reddit, music producing radio Reddit, or Reddit Radio. I'm not sure. Whatever it's called, I've been everywhere on that site, and I've found that it's really actually like very, very helpful, and I'm glad I found it. So I'm gonna tell you something about me. I like EDM. EDM is nice for me to listen to, and I know you're like, hey, what? Those who know me personally, a black dude like an EDM? That's crazy. That's for white people. I'm like, music is music. So, ha. Ha 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 ha. I'm losing my point. So I've been actually trying to make a future-based song, which is my favorite, you know, genre of EDM, and it's not just like wubs and loud screeches. It's actually melodic. While it is electronic, it's melodic electronic sounds, and I figured, hey, might as well make an attempt at it, and it turned out to be relatively hard. It's not easy to do this, and actually, what you're watching right now, I think, no, it's gonna be a little while. What you're watching right now is the beginning of one song that I'm trying to make, and I can't figure it out right now, so I'll eventually come back to it and maybe change it a little. The song after this that I'm going to be making in FL Studio in the time lapse is going to be a future-based. It's going to be the intro to a future-based song that I've wanted to make for a while. So yeah, that's cool. Man, this is a hard thing to do, speaking. I don't usually talk for this long, even when I do my comedy shows. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I actually got to do a comedy show in front of a really large audience. Well, at the camps I went to, the first camp called ALT, I went there and I actually got to do it in front of 75-ish people, and I mean, they laughed. I appreciate the fact that they laughed. It was actually funny for once. No dry humor you see here at this channel, none of that. All funny stories about my brother, complaining about my brother, stuff like that. And I did the same thing at the church camp, which actually is like an international thing, and I got to do it in front of 310 people, I believe. So that was cool. I got a lot of practice out of that. I didn't use the practice, but yeah, it's there somewhere. I don't know where it is. Don't ask me. Whew, I really enjoyed myself at those camps, and I'm actually glad my mom forced me to going into one. I signed up for the ALT program of my own accord. Anything that I've said prior to this is said as a bad example. One thing about YouTube is that you need money for a good computer, and I don't have that. I don't have good money. I I just can't afford. I just can't afford that. I can't afford a good computer. Matter of fact, my laptop came with 2 GB of RAM, and somehow I played like 3 games on it. I don't know how. It's a miracle computer. I'm honestly glad I have it, but I can't record games like Chroma Squad the way I want to, so I have to use my old encoder software because it didn't do all that audio desync that Camtasia does. That's the one thing I don't like about Camtasia. When it usually records audio and video separately, and it always desyncs the audio, especially if your computer's not as good as, like, I don't know, super people, like, I don't know, mumbo jumbo, people like that, people I watch on YouTube basically, stuff like that. So I end up having like 10 frames per second on a video, sometimes 2 or 3. I can't even open Minecraft for a while on this computer. I have to like look up at the sky for like 13 minutes before anything actually happens, and that's quite annoying. I don't know how to fix that. I mean, I could upgrade this computer. I've done a bit before. I've installed some RAM and I changed out the disk drive. It's still broken, but I tried. And yeah, that's about it for my computer woes. I mean, I got a desktop screen that I was super excited about. Turns out it's not the proper resolution, so everything looked worse than it does on the screen now. Which is actually surprising because this computer screen is super advanced. Like it's crystal clear, like amazing. I really like this computer screen, and my computer for that matter. Oh, I had a budget of money that I was saving, but it's all gone now. As a matter of fact, I spent most of it. I spent the rest of it today convincing my brother to buy Shovel Knight for 3DS. I mean, it's not like I'm ever gonna get to play it, but it's nice to say we own the game, and maybe I'll get to play it every now and then on a weekday. Hopefully. I'll leave it. Don't crush my dreams. Anyways, just ignore that little outburst of insanity. He's going to let me play the game whether he likes it or not. Oh yeah, one thing I have a problem with is getting a good pair of headphones. My brother, he punched my last ones and it snapped at the ear, and those headphones were worth, like, I don't know, $21, but I got them for free using convoluted strategies that I will not tell you. Buying at Browns and Co Factory and then returning without the headphones always works. And they were amazing headphones. They stayed with me for like a year and a half. Then my brother destroyed them with his fists of fury. I've never been madder at him, ever. So yeah, that's that. Oh, I have one last thing to do. I'm gonna actually tell you guys the story of the game. So the main character is Scold, my icon, like I said. And in this universe, everybody has a superpower. And if you watch anime, you'll be like, hey, that's Boku no Hero Academia. Wrong. I came up with this far before that ever like started publishing. So I wish I published the game first, but I have to write off that. So everyone in the universe has at least like one superpower. Some people have 2. Some people even have 3, and the special characters have like 8 or 10, stuff like that. There's limitless possibilities in this universe. As a matter of fact, there's villains, heroes, stuff like that, and it focuses on Scold and his adventures in both middle school and high school. Because in middle school he meets this guy named Aiden, one other dude. Let me tell you the powers. Scold can summon size and be like, hey, that's dumb. Why would he want a gardening tool to fight? Well, he fights with them. That's it. No questioning, nothing like that. He also can use growth magic, which is a thing in this world, and also science and stuff like that, because there's super geniuses and people who have access to ethereal powers and stuff like that. He has the size, growth magic. He can his body's covered in bone. His body's covered in another layer of bone, which acts as like an armor for him. And his face has a mask on it that is really, really hard to break. And a bunch of other powers that are like told in the story. So he meets this dude named Aiden who can teleport himself and other objects. This guy named I'm thinking of naming him Christian. He's really fast and he's super energetic. There's another guy, he's indestructible and he has super strength. And there's one last dude who's super smart. Aiden kills them all except Scold. And I know that's like sudden, but that's how the story goes. And yeah, everybody ends up hating Aiden. And Scold's like, hey, I'm gonna take you down. Then it cuts to him in high school. I'm really excited about the story. Then it cuts to him in high school, and he's like, he's like chasing after Aiden. He's like, it's been 3 years since that happened, and he's like running across like the rooftops, and Aiden's like, but never catch me, and he teleports away, and Skull is like, he's like running fast, and then there's this dude that comes behind him like flying on this giant hammer, and like flying and using explosions to fly. I like explosions, and he's flying after him, and he's like, hey, that's my target, and he's like, no, it's mine, and then they both chase after him, and they get their butts handed to them royally, and they're like, oh god, that was terrible. And he's like, hey, if you worked out with me, no, not work out. If you worked with me, we probably could have beat him. And yeah, the story continues on from there. It looks like I'm about out of time, so I'm gonna just end this right here. If you enjoyed this little ditty and you want to see more of it, just leave a like on this video. I'll add some more update videos. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.